Hey guys, welcome back to Bihumo's channel. Sangma lola tashtile kamsang. Yes, ani tangan zu tharing gi ngen tung dinang la ta thanda chige la ra yikse tang ne jwe gi process chik tua ondi ani ke ja share re ani thangbu ni nga dilawo samso ani nga ondi sangma ani inge nang la ani dishe ge yi gyumjin khajin re la na ani lobjong chingi ta thanda chidingi sangma mesha baine re ta suine sangma ani inji machine wa yo marira inge toni ke ja shine go suire ani phege nang la mangbu chik thangbu ne syo sa sha ani digas ki tigore samgudura ani wadi ani negi YouTube nangla ani phebae ta kalore pheba ge yore gyaga ge yore ani ta gyaga mo nyunyu re gine ya gyaga denzu ge ani mesha ba mangbu yore ondi ge kunzule rokba pen thoya do chik chasa ani ta gyumje dilate ne ni ngarang ani inge thon ge ira ani ande dojire. So I'll be speaking in English because I just don't want to help only the Tibetan society, but also if I can reach out a couple of more people from different areas, you know, I'm happy to do that. So that's the only reason I'll be speaking in English about the process. So we'll cut the crap and we'll get back to the main video. Let's go. So yeah, we're going to talk and discuss the process for the UK. So what I want to tell you guys is that keep in mind this is the process for UK, not for Canada, not for New Zealand or Australia, because these have a different process. So many people do get confused. Okay, so just saying. Okay, so yeah, this is a small note where I have written down whatever we are going to discuss today. Yeah, kind of pretty notes. Yes, so for those of you, if you are watching this for the first time and if you don't know me, let me introduce a little bit. So my full name is Tanzan Bhuti and I am basically from Tibet, but I'm born and brought up in India. So currently I am here in UK. I am working as a registered nurse in an intensive care unit in Lincoln. Okay, so that's pretty much about me. Okay, let's get back to the main topic. So yes, so the first step for coming to UK is you have to write either Ielts or OET exam. Okay, I'm pretty sure most of you know what to do first, so that's the thing. It's Ielts or OET. Ielts exam can be academic or general if you guys don't know. So Ielts academic is mostly for people who wants to study abroad. Ielts are accepted almost all over the world, so people can write Ielts exam, and academic is kind of hard, but if you want to work for working purpose, you can choose Ielts General, which is not that hard. Okay, then the second exam is an OET. So both of the exams are English language tests basically, but OET is specifically designed for the healthcare sectors. So you know what I mean. So for the physicians, I mean doctors, nurses, radiology, like almost all the healthcare sectors. So OET is accepted. This language test is accepted in the UK. So yeah, you can write either Ielts or OET exam. So if you want to know which exam you should write as a nurse or as a doctor, in my opinion, I would say definitely you should go for OET. because OET is an English test, which I said earlier, it is designed for the healthcare sector. So all the questions and all, like everything will be relatable because everything will be linked to the healthcare. Okay, whereas IELTS is like you do have to have a lot of general knowledge and you have to have a good grammar. The only plus point about the IELTS is that it's cheaper. It's only 15,000 rupees. Okay, whereas OET is obviously it's like 35,000 above Indian rupees. So that's the only difference. And also IELTS is, people say that IELTS is harder compared to OET, which is a bit easier. So if you ask me which you should choose, I will obviously say OET, but it's obviously on you. You are the one who is writing the exam, so you have to choose which one is suitable for you. Okay, if you think you are confident about your English, your grammar, and if you think you have a very good general knowledge, you should definitely go with IELTS. I will definitely say it's hard. It's really hard sometimes. Okay, so yeah, that's about that. So if you ask me, go with OET. I know it's expensive, but you can get the money back later on. Yeah, so yes, you heard it right. You will, whatever exams you are writing, you will get the money back when you become a nurse here. Okay, so don't worry much, spend it, get a reimbursement later on. So yeah, so for writing IELTS and OET exam, people do ask me this question, that whether you need a coaching or not. In my perspective, I feel it's, if you're writing it for the first time, I feel that it's good if you get a coaching, or else if you have somebody who already has a gist about the OET or IELTS, who has written and who can share you the PDFs and who can share you the details, then obviously no need of coaching. It's a waste of money. But yeah, I would definitely say it's better to get some coaching, be it online or offline. Okay, so get a coaching. You have to pay some money, but it's worth sometimes. But don't expect everything. Okay, there is no spoon feeding in IELTS and OET. You have to obviously, like, it's 50% by the coaching centers, by the tutors, whereas 50% is in your own hand. I don't say 50% as well. It's like 30% is the tutors, and the rest of the 70% is you yourself. Okay, so they won't teach you how to do readings. I'm sorry, I think I didn't tell you what does IELTS and OET exams are. So it's basically the English language test, which includes reading, writing, listening, and speaking. Okay, so all 4 of that exams are there. So you have to write all 4 exams, which some people has their own weakness. For me, writing is a problem, and for others, readings are the problem. So don't expect everything to be spoon-fed. You have to struggle, you have to, but do not give up. Yes, oh god, thankfully I remembered this correctly at the right moment. Many people think that after failing one exam, after failing the English language test, they feel like, oh, I'm not good enough, I'm gonna give up. So no, don't do that, please. So if you want to get inspiration, you can get inspired from many people. There are people who failed 5 times, 10 times, 20 times. So yeah, do not give up. Okay, you can write the exam again and again until you pass the exams, because you can write it in a month. There are 4 test dates, so in a month you can write 4 times. Okay, both IELTS and OET. So do not give up. If you fail in your first attempt, please write it again. If you fail in the second attempt, please write it again. And one thing I want to share is that do not give a gap. For example, if you fail your exam this month, don't take a gap year like don't take a gap like 1 to 2 months. If you fail this month, please write it in next month, because what happens is when you keep a gap, you forget the I don't know, what do you call it, you will lose the focus, and it will have a negative effect on your exam. So in my opinion, I will say that please write exams. If you just, yeah, people do fail, people do fail. Okay, no one's perfect, so please do not give up. That's what I want to say, because after coming here, your life is much easier and you will appreciate it. So yep, that is the thing. I'm saying it again, do not give up. So the second step is you have to write your CBT exam. So once you pass your OET or IELTS, you can search online in FB, like Facebook, or you can Google it. You will find many agencies who recruits nurses from India. So you can call them, ask them that tell them that you have passed your English language test and you want to work in this department, that department, and that all is in your hand. So next, you can either call agency or you can wait and write your CBT exam. CBT exam is nothing but computer-based tests. So that is basically to see your competency level, like how you are going to manage. So it's just a multiple questions. Okay, you have to sit in front of your computer and you'll be getting like 150 questions. I think the test is for 2 hours. You have to sit down and you have limited time for each questions. So within this time you have to answer all the questions. You can, out of 150 questions, there are few questions which has to be correct. Otherwise you can make some silly mistake as well, they'll still pass you. Okay, so CBT is easy, but do not take it lightly. It's still an exam. So that's about the CBT exam. So once the hard part is done, which is IELTS or OET or then the CBT, then you can start creating your portfolio, your CV. Okay, so in your CV you have to write down your details, your full name, details, your address, where you are working, how many experience you have, and what else, and yeah, what all the equipments you are good at. Okay, so once your CV is done, you have to send it to multiple agencies. Okay, so if you ask me, I've sent my CV almost like 50. 50 will be exaggerating, but yeah, I remember that in that particular month I passed my CBT and it was my moment to send my CV to everybody. So I was like throwing my CV to all the agencies and everywhere. Like I think I've done like I've sent it to plenty of people, almost like 20 to 25, but I didn't get a response. That's when it hit me. It was not easy. So I waited days, I waited weeks for them to reply, and fortunately I got a reply. I got response from 1 or 2 people. So imagine, it's a vast, it's really vast, because I've sent it to 20 to 25 people and my CV, but I got only few responses. So yeah, keep throwing your CV to all the agencies, whichever you can. Okay, and that's that. So once you find your agency, it's better you meanwhile you should also complete your NMC registration. So for NMC registration you have to pay some money. So for that you can contact any Indian agency, agency in a sense, like what do you say, like cyber cafe, who does all these things. There are few people who does NMC registration, so you have to charge them. They'll charge us, you have to pay them some money, and they'll do the registration things, which you don't have to care much, which you don't have to know much, but I'll still tell you so that you can get a brief idea what do they do. Okay, so yes, so once you are connected to your agency, next step is your NMC registration. So for NMC registration, there are stages. So the first stage is your registration. So the NMC registration, which you can do it on your own, but if you make a mistake, it's going to be problem. Because why I'm saying this is, recently my friend did the NMC registration on her own, and she did almost everything on her own, and when she was here, so during the time of reimbursement, she faced some problem because there was some verification problem. So she did it on her own. So it took her some time to get the PIN, so she still didn't get her PIN. So that's why I'm saying, I know you have to give some money to the people, but it's safe. I mean, I gave the job to one of the agencies, and he did it, so I didn't had any problem. So after I passed my exam, I just got the PIN the next day. So that's what I'm talking about. You can pay to the agency, let them do the job because they know it better. Otherwise, if you are smart enough, obviously you can do it, but do not make any mistakes. Make sure you know what you are doing. So first is the NMC registration. For that, they'll ask you your email address, your contact number, your passport colored scan copy, your diploma certificate, your initial nursing registration certificate, which should be valid, your course completion certificate. So all these documents are needed for your NMC registration. Anyway, I'll just give you the link below if you want to do it on your own. So next is your KNC foreign registration. So KNC is only for Karnataka state. So if you're from different state like Delhi or Maharashtra or anywhere else, so you will have your own registration, like foreign registration requirements. So they'll ask you your full name, your gender, date of birth, course, registration date, your registration number, your blood group, your place of birth, your nationality, father's name, email, phone number, and your address. So that's basically for foreign verification. These details are required. So once you have done with all this, so they'll take you around. Even though mine was done by an agency, which I paid, but I can still access with my own laptop and see what is going on. Okay, so next will be the NMC stage 2. So NMC stage 2 is something like, once everything is done by step, they will take you around. Like they will say that now it's the time to do the NMC stage 2. So for the stage 2, it's nothing but you will need medical practitioner verification. That means any doctor with a valid registration but not your relative. So you will need a doctor name, your doctor's email address, phone number, and the hospital address with PIN. So this is nothing but to tell that so and so person is healthy and doesn't has any disease. Okay, so that is about the medical practitioner. And second is they'll ask for your Ielts or OET marks card. Okay, and you should provide with the login details. Then the third is the PCC. Okay, so police clearance, which is you will get it if you are from India. I mean, if you are from any part of the state, so you have to go to the police and you have to register. I don't know, I think it's online these days. So go to any person who does all these PCC work. So you have to pay and you will get your PCCs. Then there has to be a declaration which has to be done by somebody. So if you are paying someone to do it, so they will do the declaration. Otherwise, it takes a long time. Then your current nursing council registration certificate, which should be valid for at least next 6 months, and NMC access to your OET and Ielts sheet, so which will be done by the agency as well. So the problem is that if you do it on your own, it takes a couple of months to complete. So if you have time and if you don't want to spend any money, you can do all this on your own, but it will take time, because for KNC registration and all other stuffs, you have to actually walk to this KNC office, and big queue. So it will take a lot of time, and also government people are not that helpful sometimes. So yeah, that's why I didn't do it on my own. So I gave it to the person who does all this work, registration work. So that's how I got it very quickly in a week, and all the works were done well. But yeah, they did charge me. Well, they did charge. So yeah, so that's about the registration, first stage and second stage of registration. And next is, yeah, so that is like meantime you are doing the NMC registration. Whereas, so once you have done all this and you have sent to the CV and somebody has responded, they will tell you these hospitals are taking in nurses, and you have an interview date. So you will get an interview date, you book the interview, and they will interview you. It is mostly online. Some do offline these days, but during COVID it was always online, so probably it will be online. But if you get, okay, let's not talk many things. Okay, so you have an interview and you will do the interview. Interview is really simple. They'll tell you to introduce yourself, and they'll ask few questions like ethics, code of ethics, and they'll just ask what to do, what you will do, something related to healthcare sectors. And if you're a fresher, it's gonna be a little bit tough. Otherwise, if you have experience and you already have a knowledge about the clinical settings, so the interview is, it's very simple. Interview is really simple. Okay, so do not worry about the interview, because people need staff here. I mean, they have, in UK there are shortage of nurses, so they do want you. I mean, yeah, they do want you, so they'll take in. So yep, that's about the, I think I talk a lot, so that's about the process. Okay, and I just want to tell that I didn't talk so much. I just tried to give a brief about all the process, because I don't want to confuse you guys. So if you still think you have, if you still have some queries and questions, feel free to comment below, and you can even DM me in my Instagram. And yes, I just remember this one, that many of the general nursing students and staffs DM'd me about the if they can work without having without completing their PCBSCs. So yes, it's a good news. I mean, like, I was so happy when I heard that. So I was quite happy when I got to know that, yeah, GNM nursing can actually come and work here, and you will get an equal pay, and you will be considered as staff nurse. Okay, so yeah, you don't have to complete PCBSC to come and work here. You can still be a GNM and work here as a staff nurse. So that's a good news, you know. And next thing is, someone asked me that what about the gap year? So yes, they don't accept a gap year, but if the gap year is in the past, yeah, if the gap year is in the past, doesn't matter, you know, they don't give a shit about it. So if the gap year is currently, then you have a real problem. Otherwise, it's fine. I mean, otherwise, you know, gap year doesn't matter, to be honest. So you should have experience. I mean, when you are doing the process and when you are doing an interview, in an interview they will ask you whether you have experience currently. So yes, you have the experience now, and if you are still working, then you are good to go. Okay, past experience, past gap years doesn't matter. So minimum 6 months of experience is necessary, and I feel is the requirement for most of the trusts, but some trusts take in freshers, so it really depends on the trust you choose. And be wise when you choose your agencies, because some agencies are not good, some agencies are fraud. They'll take your money and you won't get it back. Luckily I didn't had the problems, so touch wood. So yeah, that's all about it, and I think I spoke a lot and I tried not to. Anyways, so that's all about the UK process. So that's it, and I hope that my video helps many nurses and I welcome every nurses to work in UK, and I'll be happy if someone from India comes to UK and work, because we are all human beings, and it's not like I am paying you guys, so you are working on your own and coming here. So I welcome you all, and what else? I'm not gonna speak anything now. Okay, that's it about the process. So thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you. Bye.
I don't need to think about it. There's nothing in this world that we can't do. Flowers even matter.